Good day, my I choose shakers and movers. How are you guys doing out there? I wish this was an app where you can actually respond and we can kind of process how you're feeling. I guess that's the therapist in me, right? But really, I hope that you guys are doing well. I wanted to share a video real quick on my break about compassion. This video was triggered because I was dealing with someone and they were telling me about how compassionate they are to others, in particular their best friend, when they're struggling. And I thought it was so interesting. And then they followed the conversation with, but I really struggle with being gentle to myself. I'm pretty hard on myself when I make a mistake, and this and that is really difficult for me to forgive myself. And so, of course, the clinician in me started to think, and I'm like, wow, this is so interesting. How are you able to extend compassion but not receive it? Simple. It happens all the time. Most people are not aware of it, but what it's called is a lack of self-love. Now, this kind of rub people the wrong way because in their mind is I love myself. I get dressed. I do this. I do that. Well, that's some elements of love, yes, but the wholeness of self-love is to be able to gift yourself with what you gift others with, right? So I wanted to say, okay, what's the resolve? How can I help the people that this applied to? This doesn't apply to everyone, but it does apply to some people, right? How do I apply this? And then I just thought about myself when I had my journey of trying to discover and implement self-compassion, not talk to myself so aggressive, easily to forgive myself, express common humanity to myself, being mindful to myself. That was a struggle, that was a challenge, but I was able to do it. So I want to share with you, only if this applies to you now, something that you can do to help. So I was writing some things down because I didn't want to miss anything. So I want to share that. Well, one, you heard me say the three different things. Those are called the three main elements to compassion, and that is self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. I mentioned that, right? Maybe in a video to come, I'll give you different techniques of mindfulness. In fact, if you want that, then make sure you comment. Please, most of you guys know me personally. Do not text me with your comments. I love them, I appreciate them, but I will appreciate them more if you comment on this page, whichever social media I attach this video to. And the reason being is because you have to understand, I'm in the business of helping others. So when you reply something, I prefer you to reply it where others can see it, because it may be a question that they themselves need or wanted to ask, but just didn't know how to formulate that question. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So most of the times when we are being compassionate, it's because whomever that person is, they're having issues in the areas that they perceive as a deficiency, as a failure, or just general struggle, right? And so we tend to jump to the rescue and help them if we have that ability, or if we perceive ourselves as having that ability to extend compassion. So real quick, because we're already over the 4-minute mark, how do we resolve this challenge of being able to extend compassion but struggle with self-compassion? Well, one, we identify that we have this issue. We don't do this thing, well, that's just me. I did a video a while back. We know what that means when we hear somebody say, that's just me, right? But I don't want to go through all that. So we don't do that. But what we do is identify that, man, I really do. I struggle in this area. This area is a challenging place for me to be able to give myself the gift that I give to others. So small assignment. This is a challenge, okay? It's a very small assignment. I know you can do it. I want you to write down what you would say get you a best friend who is struggling in whatever area they're struggling in. I want you to write down what words would you use for them, what statements you would use for them. And then I want you to write down in a circle the tone that you would use. For example, if it's a gentle tone, if it's an empathetic tone, if you need to check them, is it a gentle reminder, that X, Y, and Z? Tell me what that tone is on paper, right? After that, the final step, because everything you do, everything that's growth, it will have steps. So the final thing you would do is you would take everything, every phrase, every word that you use to encourage or empower them, and you would turn it around to you. So for example, if my best friend is struggling in the area and I tell her, listen, you are so much stronger than you know. I'm going to take that phrase and I'm going to turn it around and say, Roz, you are so much stronger than you know. Okay? Got it? Good. So that's one thing that you're going to say. Then you're going to remember the part where we circle, which is the tone. You're going to take that tone and use it toward yourself. So if you messed up and you normally go, gosh, such an idiot, what were you thinking? Right? If you normally say that, if that tone is not on your paper, when we give an example of talking to a best friend, if that tone is very gentle, then you're going to have to do that. So you're not going to speak to yourself aggressively and go, gosh, you're such an idiot, what were you thinking? Now you're going to speak to yourself gentle, because remember, all we're doing is we are giving ourselves the same gift that we give to others. And these are the steps. Now, if you follow me, or if you even just check my videos out because someone has shared it, then I hope you've caught a video where I talked about how words are seeds. And I can remember my brother, his name is Anthony, he told me, he told a group of people. We were actually in a ministry and he was sharing. He always have really, really great analogies and he bring things together, and it's always just perfect. But he said that this is our garden. So our head is our garden. And I say words are seed. So if you bridge them together, if you are speaking something negatively over yourself, then those words will be planted in this garden. And if you've seen a video before, right, then what you think, what you feel, and how you behave are all in one. So it will connect. So we have to be careful what words, aka seeds, are we going to plant in our garden. Okay? Because whatever you plant in your garden, it will grow. So now we're going to say mindfulness, right? Remember, compassion was a part of mindfulness. That was that third element. Mindfulness, we're going to be mindful about the words that we speak over ourselves. So to wrap it up, 8 minutes 40. Gosh, I'm so sorry. Not sorry. But to wrap it up, the assignment is you're going to imagine a best friend struggling through something, and you're going to write down the exact words or phrase that you're going to say to encourage or empower them, right? And then you're going to, in a circle, you're going to write down, the tone in which you would say it. And the final step is you're going to turn all of that around, that gift that you give, and you're going to give yourself. Okay? I hope this helped. If you do the work, you will see the change. Before you see the change, someone in your circle, if you have circles, or just anyone that comes in your space will notice it first. They will say, girl, what's going on with you? I notice like you're talking different, like you're moving different. What's happening here? Right? And that'll be your indicator that I'm doing this right. Hey, listen, y'all already know what we do around these parts. And if you don't know, let me share. We stay free.